Welcome to the mind of LANCESCURV, the most creatively profound man in cyberspace.
Welcome back, everyone. LANCESCURV here, LANCESCURV.com. Wow. What an incredible journey life is. What an incredible journey life is. I'm just going to ask you all to excuse me for my slightly crackly voice. I woke up not too long ago, and I just have to say that there is so much to this world that we just don't understand. Beyond our comprehension. And it's a wonderful thing, good and bad. I have a personal saying that I've always used. You can't appreciate what's sweet until you've tasted and experienced what is sour. Because without sour in the world, we wouldn't have any way of gauging what's truly sweet. That's something that has been with me from my teenage years, that saying. It just popped in my head one day. And it never left. Many times on this particular platform and the offerings that I share, I go into times of my life where I've experienced different things. And the more I go back and draw from those experiences, it builds up even more in the present for me, because now I have a little more wisdom to extract more of the lesson that was, but I did not have the perspective in the sight to extract all of it. So instead of looking back at something that others may have considered a negative experience or even a tragedy, you can still get something from those times on a positive level, on an insight level. One thing that hit me this morning is that, well, let me give you a little backstory. Many of you know that we're taking our time and building our home, and I often refer to it in a way where I'm living on a construction site, little by little, and we're getting there. So I had been inside, and not necessarily inside, I was out in the sun and in the yard, but to look over the guys and if they needed anything from me, just to be here to oversee the work. So while I love being at home, and I always make the joke that if someone relegated me to house arrest for a year here, I would laugh, as long as I have my food and my ability to create. But I said to myself, I said, you know what? It's Friday. These guys won't be back until Monday. Let me at least walk down the street, go here, go there. So there's a particular restaurant that makes a dish that I love so much, the way they do it. And I had a feel for it. It was getting dark, and which didn't matter, it was still early. And while I'm not going to go into the details of what I experienced last night, all I can say is that God, and when I say God, I'm not saying it in the European sense. So stop complaining when I use that word. I'm not referring to religion. What I'm speaking about is something beyond spirituality. Because even that word now, spirituality, and that's the only word we can use when we refer to those things with other people, but even that word has become cheapened by the frauds and the pretenders and the narcissistic entities who want attention by acting as though they're on the spiritual plane. So even now, I don't want to really label myself as anything else or come off that way, because I'm truly sincere in how I express myself, and I've always been sincere in how I express myself on this platform, and even long before I came into the world of cyberspace in 2001. I've been doing this for a long time. Well, anyway, as I got to the road, and as you all well know, I won't be driving for a while, a couple months, but I'll be good. It's convenient to take the vans out there, and I was waiting for the vans, and they were full going up. And all I'll say is that I got a ride on a motorcycle from a gentleman who was just passing through and did circle, or roundabout as they call it, before we started a conversation that continued with him meeting someone that he knew from childhood. The conversation grew, and then the person who entered the conversation felt that I should meet someone else that she knew. She said, I have to call him now. You both have to meet. Why have I not heard of you? You've been here so long. And they asked me what I do, and I showed them some of the things online. And they were amazed. Thank God. But they were like, how could you be here so long and no one know of you? You have to meet this man. So we spoke. She called him. We spoke for a few minutes. And he says, brother, I have to get your number. We have to talk now. And we talked. I'm really telling it, right? But I'm not saying any names. We talked for the longest time, because I had to take another car to get to where I had to go. And all I can say is that that could not have happened unless there was a creator who was looking out for you. And you know, I had been relegated to, how could I say it, being thrown under the bus many times in my life. And I've learned that when you are, and there are others who so desperately wanted to shine that you seem to have possessed at one time, you don't have to fight for it, because what's for you is for you. And if our Creator has a destiny for you, no amount of smearing tactics, no amount of saying bad things about you or trying to keep others away from you will ever work. It may work for a time, but there is no way that within a span of 10 minutes, I could have connected with 3 highly influential people. All of them. And I don't mean just influential as far as the world is concerned, the man-made, engineered world. I'm talking about in their righteous mission, their destinies, what they're working toward, what they've been doing. Not as an attention-grabbing, narcissistic ploy. You know? So, look for new things for me, expanded things. But for those who once shined in life and feel that you don't have it anymore, understand that what is thrown on your shine doesn't take away your shine. When you polish that brass ornament that doesn't look too shiny anymore, and they have the special polish that you rub on it, it comes back. It shows you that the shine never left. We have got to stop thinking about the old days when we would shine, but now we lost it. You never lost it. We know that Mike Tyson is a fighter. May not be what he was 30 years ago, 35 years ago, 40 years ago. And we know that it's an exhibition coming up with him and Jake Paul. But even for him to be in the mindset of doing what he does and what he's known for after so many decades and after going through so much, the loss of his daughter in a freak accident, the drugs, the lawsuits. I would assume depression sometime. He never lost his shine through all that. And the song that was in my mind all night long for some reason, and this is definitely a spiritual thing, 1979's song by Phyllis Hyman, who has a fascinating story. You Know How to Love Me. You know how to love me. You know how to make it right. Oh man, that song. It took me back to a time when things in this world and in my world were less complicated. And as I always say, we had wars, we had drugs, we had murder, we had high gas prices, we had things in conflicts, we had jails and prisons because people did bad things to go. But overall, in the atmosphere, with people, overall, the percentage, the amount of love in the world appeared to be so much more. Maybe it was because I was younger, I don't know. But right now, even though this is 2024, in my heart, I'm not just saying it's just 1979, but the way I felt, that song opened up a portal in my being to allow me to step back in to remember the sights, the sounds, the sense, the experience of me growing up, not knowing as much. Oh, I was a wise cookie in the world now. But in the matters of the heart and the spirit, I'm so much more now. And again, I have to thank my parents, LANCESCURV Senior, because I'm a junior, and O.C. May Scurvin, maiden name Johnson. Thank you so much for what you've done for me. Thank you for the childhood that you've afforded me. That even though I have a brother that is out on drugs, it's not your fault. You see, I have to say I've had a wonderful childhood, wonderful neighborhood, wonderful neighbors and community, chock full of rich experiences. Oh, you wouldn't believe. And it's because of that foundation and because of that root and because of that community and because of those times that was so rich and not manufactured like these times today. It undergirded me for a lifetime because I still walk with that inside my heart. And remember, when you shine greatly in your life, whether it's now or before, and you go through things and you think it's not there, understand it's always there. You just have to rub off what was attached to you. Because there are some of us out here who have this light about them, this love about them, this pure thing about them. And they're not pure, they're not perfect, don't get me wrong. But an innocence about them, not a venomous, envious, I want to copy this person, I want to be them. I want to shine, but I don't want them to shine. I want to shine, but I don't want anybody to know that that person is there. I have to be the one to receive the accolades because, you know, I call it the Cain and Abel syndrome. Because many times in life you will find yourself in that situation. But in this situation of my life, Abel can't be killed. Abel has so much more to do that coming out of from up under the rubble of the put downs and the smears and the character assassinations, in that something else and something more was born. And that's why when I walked out to the road last night, didn't have a specific time. I was taking my time. I washed up, I shaved, I got myself put on my clothes and just eased out there. Yes, I had my little camera with me just in case. But that is why in divine timing, divine intervention, that happened. And in connecting with those three individuals, one right after another, it changed my life and my trajectory. I will say that for the future. And that lets me know that there is a God force consciousness that will never let you fall out of your purpose as long as you stay connected. Because God never leaves you, just like the shine never leaves you. But lots of times we allow the entities who are upset at your light to pull you away and unplug you from the God force. And you think that your creator has forgotten about you. No, you may have gotten caught up in those engineered distractions to crush your light. And you're so focused on them that you don't go within and reconnect. And although I don't feel as though I've ever been disconnected completely, I'll say, like those old Christmas lights that you pull out every year for those who celebrate Christmas, you plug the lights in and it blinks, but it doesn't blink because it's set to do that. It has a short in it. And lots of times we're still connected, but we're short-circuited. That if you move a certain way, you see the light, and you move the wire a certain way, and then it goes off. Like when you have back pain or a disc that's pinched, you move a certain way, and all of a sudden you feel this pain. But if you sleep in a certain position, it goes away. So this morning, in waking up, I played that song by Phyllis Hyman on my phone. And while I was ready to get up, it knocked me down because, like I said, it took me into a place that I can't say that I forgot about, but I haven't visited that place in my meditations for a long time, in my own way of doing my own spiritual and emotional and mental tune-up. You see, because I make sure that I'm connected on all levels, and that's why creativity can flow from within with ease. Because I don't allow those entities or those forces who want their attention. I'm not trying to take anything from anybody, but don't stop me from my mission, which my goal is not attention. I do what I do from the purity of my heart and out of love, because just like those old songs that we listen to, but the artist, the singer, the performer, they may have made a transition. It still touches us. They left something with us. And Phyllis Hyman, and the many times that I would see her exit, it's kind of like on the end. There wasn't a back door because the buildings in Manhattan, some of them don't have a back. You have to do everything out of the front. All those times I'd see her, and she has got to know that in her essence, although she may not be here in the physical form, she affected me with her music, which reminded me of that time. And I watched that documentary, and I kind of dozed off, not into a sleep, but into a place of a comfort. Like, you know, when you don't have to get up at a certain time. For most people, it may be a Saturday if they work Monday through Friday, and they say, yes, I can sleep late, and they lay there, and they do wake up, and they go back and lay down, or they just never get up out of the bed, and they fall back into a certain level of not sleep, but it's a zone, and it's very pleasurable because you see and feel how your body and your mind and your spirit is getting topped off with what was taken away during the week, and you feel so rejuvenated, and it's a pleasurable place. It's almost like a post-orgasmic feeling without an orgasm, and it has nothing to do with sex. See? So I stayed there for a while, and after the documentary was over, another song popped up that reminded me of that exact same time period. Listen, I wonder if these social media platforms that play videos can read your mind. Or do they know you so well by what you choose? So there was another song that came on by Peter Allen, Fly Away. And it reminded me of that same 1979 and 1980 after, because you know when songs come out, they're played for a while. And it reminded me when I was in a gym, there all day, running it, right there in Richmond Hill, Queens, on 131st Street and Liberty Avenue, the old Powerhouse Gym. And high up in the day, there wouldn't be many people there. But the music is playing, and that song would always come on. And it wasn't necessarily the words. Yeah, in a way. But something about that song just made me understand how, without saying it, it's a feel that I got, how vast this universe is. This realm. Universe is even too small of a word. This realm, this plane. And in listening to that song, you could not tell me I wasn't in that place. And it's not about the past. Because what I've learned about the past, what the people call the past, is that it's not the past. It's there always. But it's another dimension that we have to embrace and comprehend. The past is always there. A particular house that you grew up in might get knocked down and there's a highway running through it. That particular store that you used to go to might be run by other people in a whole different market. The schools that we went to may look the same, but it's a whole different set of teachers and a whole different set of students. It's not about comparing the past to the present, but that place in your heart on a quantum level, never left, it's still there. Which means what we know of time is not just a clock that ticks off minutes and we move toward this thing called what they say is death. No, we're energy, and I'm feeling it. And I was taken to that place. I almost said taken back. No, it's always there. Therefore, your destiny is always there. Your destiny is always there. Even if the shine was taken away by the entities and circumstances that covered you, you are not that. The shine always shines, whether the world sees it or not. Could you imagine how many beautiful beaches there are all over the world that no one is on right now? Remote beaches, remote islands. All of the exotic fruits that are hanging there waiting for you to eat, but you're not there. And we don't know. But if we rewire ourselves right, if we go within and under the hood and rub off what was put on us by those who don't want to see us shine, and then don't focus on them, go within. Be comfortable with yourself. Work on what, now see, it's going to sound contradictory, but work on your own time from within. Connect to that special place, no matter what it is, or whatever you have to do. See, I'm weird. When I create and I'm home, I like to create. And it's funny because a bird landed on the rail on the balcony outside, just right there. It's so beautiful when they do that. I like to say, hey, keep going. I'm feeling you. But those destinies never leave. And we have to go. Oh, I was saying about creating. I can't create in one place all the time. I can't draw on the same table that I'm doing a podcast or recording. I can't write in the same place. And because of the electronic technological advances, it affords me more flexibility that way. Because I'm not by my desk. I'm not by my computers right now. I have a very special recorder, and I can put this in my pocket and go anywhere and talk and have crystal clear audio. So I can go deep in my backyard. I can go somewhere late at night, sit by a park bench. Now, why would I go out late at night? Hey, I'm free flowing. I have no boundaries, wherever the spirit leads me. And so that is making it where I'm able to do more, even though it hasn't seemed that way, because, again, we're doing many things here at the home front, which takes the time. But the feeling is there. The changes happen within you long before the outside world sees it. And I'm just happy to say that I'm there. And right now, there's no one around me in my circle that could touch me and try to put things in my head and try to take me away and off of what I'm to do. If I want to sleep right now, I'm going to do it. If I want to record, or if I want to write something, if I want to draw something, I'm 100,000% connected. Not a physical thing, but very much a spiritual thing, an intuition thing, intuitive. And this is where we all have to go. Because when those things are driven by narcissism, and you want this attention, that's a low vibration, no matter how good you talk. This is pure. I don't care really if anybody hits the video or not. I'm not saying I don't care. I care for all of you, and I love all of you who get down with me. But you have to produce what you produce. The Creator produces those fruits that you'll never see, that thousands of miles away from you on some exotic island. The Creator doesn't stop doing what he has to do. You don't stop doing what you have to do. You don't look for anything to come back to you. If you're here to vibrate on a certain level, you put it out there, because you never know who you're affecting. Like I said, Phyllis Hyman, beautiful woman. I could see the love and I could see the glow. It wasn't a lust thing. It's just like, wow. I drew strength from her. Even as one who was a 16-year-old. Isn't that something? And while the world would say, oh, she's not dead, what really made her is not dead. And I receive her creative offerings, which has helped me to remind me of the time and that place. So I want to surround myself with more people who walk in that zone, because I'm ascending. I can run into the fellas back home on the street corner and tell a few dirty jokes just as good as I've always done. But that would be a drain for me. That's not the full me now. There's more to me than meets the eye. And I love where I am in my heart. The day, actually, even if it was raining, it would be beautiful. That's part of the process. But today, the sun is shining just as bright as it did for me in 1979 and 78 and 76 and 77. It's a place that you find yourself. And I've always said that to friends of mine. I said, man, even the sun was shining brighter back in the 70s. And I thought it was the time. So if you say it's the time, that means it's the past. And you're telling yourself, well, this is not ever going to happen again like this. But when you rub off the muck and mire that kept you from vibrating fully, now you can see everything in the beauty for what it is. And actually, it really is a beautiful day. And I really should have gone live with this and turned the camera to what I see now. And I will do that sometimes when I'm in this zone, because I'm many gears sometime. But I just wanted to say that when you're doing something right, part of it is always remaining connected to the God force inside of you. You will have challenges. You will have things that make you sad or make you cry. You will have victories and things that make you feel good. But no matter what happens in your life, you have to stay connected, because there will be challenges that are put forth, and oftentimes will make us say, hey, God, have you forsaken me? It seems like you're not there. He is there. But it's not for us to question if he's there or not. We have to understand that oftentimes we have these challenges and we have to prove ourselves worthy of the next level. So we have to go through this test. I was speaking to my dear sister yesterday, and while we may not have or come through the same physical portal, she is my sister. And on that note, I have to say that my sister, and I say my sister, she is my sister. She came to me out of nowhere, although she's been watching for a long while before I even knew she existed. Isn't that something? Again, we don't know how we affect people and how people see us. So be genuine in all that you do. Be genuine in your giving. Even if you're angry, be genuine in your anger. Because anybody who's going to roll with you will understand everything about your vibration. And I said it was almost like with our Creator. It's like a child learning how to ride a bike that has training wheels on it. Then you lift the training wheels up a little bit, lift it up half an inch, and that way it'll catch you, but you can kind of balance yourself and get that feeling. And you lift it up, you take the training wheels off. Sometimes you hold on to the back of the seat while they're pedaling. And after a while, they're riding the bike. But there's some times that you're going to have to let that child ride that bike after getting it a while, not just the first time, that they run the risk of falling and hurting the knee or the elbow, which, you have to wear the protective stuff to cover those areas. But you have to go through that. The parent has to allow that child that was crawling, who wants to walk, you walk. You must know what it's like to fall. So you want to avoid that feeling and try harder in your walking. And we all been through that. Not one of us came out of the womb walking. That was a monumental accomplishment at one time. And we take those things for granted. We have to see life just like that. That we have to strive at the next level. We have to prove ourselves. The parent is not going to hold the child to say, oh, I don't want you to fall. I don't want you to understand what gravity is like. So no, I'm going to carry you. You're hurting that child then. God doesn't want to hurt us. He wants us to advance. But to advance, sometimes we're going to feel disconnected. We're going to fall. Like the toddler who's trying, the child who's crawling, who now is a toddler. But he has to allow us that. So we internalize the feeling that we're trying to avoid. So it's very important. And it's very important that we don't question. Oh my God, why I have these projects to do, I have these deadlines. That's you earning your next level. From crawling to walking. And even from walking, you have to understand that we have to go through things to be able to know how to run and then jump and then ride a bike. The mastery. So you're earning your master's degree, in a sense, to master that level. And we can't always expect our Creator to do it for us. The only way we're going to get it is for us to strive from within, because He put everything inside of us that we need. And we should never forget that. So for all of those who have transitioned on to the next plane that have affected me, I want to say thank you. And I know that as people have come into my life and maybe they transitioned or maybe they moved on, it was always for a reason. And I wear your positive presence for those who were positive, because there are some negative entities that you learn from, but you're not harping on it. You don't wear anything of them or their energy on you. But even they is someone to agitate and to, it helps to push you where you have to go also. Like I say, you can't appreciate what's sweet until you totally understand and taste what sour is. Remain connected. Your shine is always there. Your shine never leaves you, even when you don't feel like it's there. See, we can feel all kind of things. Our mind can tell us all types of things if we allow it. So we have to control the mind to continue to feed the positive words into ourselves and to seek what's higher. To understand that this day has a purpose, that even when you feel as though you're in a pit, in a rut, that you will easily come out of it if you stay connected, even if it doesn't seem easy, even if it doesn't feel easy. Could you imagine? You really have to pat yourself on the shoulder or on the back. Because if you're in a place now where most things are running smoothly, you have your health, you have your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, that means you've won. You're not crushed. Think back, not to bring up negative situations, but really and truly, think back to the times in your life when you did not know how you were going to make it. Think back to those times and look at you now. Think back to the times that you did make it. And if you're in a bad situation now, understand that this is the sour that's going to make you appreciate what's sweet. See? So it's a cycle. It's a brief cycle when you look at the whole total, I was going to say time, but how our energy is being formed. And this is a brief part of the process. When you bake a cake and you take the sugar and the flour and the egg and the oil and whatever flavoring, and you take those components, you take those items and you put them together and you put it in the oven. The oven's not a really good place, but it's necessary. It's hot in here. The cake is getting baked. The individual components of that cake are saying, what the heck? Egg, I don't know you. And flour says to the sugar, I don't know you either. And the oil is saying, I'm mixed up with all of you all. What the hell is going on? It's hot in here. I don't like it. Just using my imagination. But guess what? When all is said and done, and that mixture of ingredients comes out, it's a beautiful and very delicious and tasty cake. And here comes the icing. You can make your icing, but most of the time we purchase it. And here's the icing coming out of this container. Man, I was in this container for months, and now I'm being spread out over this thing called a cake. You know, it's still warm. Who are you? I'm saying it to say this. Lots of times we're in that oven, not understanding the process of bringing us to a new level, a beautiful level, a level where we appreciated, this cake tastes good. You see what I mean? When you're in the process and you stay connected, it may be sour. You'll find out that it's sweet. It may be a bruise on the knee or the elbow, But oh, all of the years that you have mastered balance on that bicycle, the beautiful rides through the country, the beautiful rides through the city. Just the feeling of the wind on your face, that you don't need a motor. You're pedaling, and you're getting your exercise, and your blood is flowing. What a beautiful thing that is. You forgot about that bruised knee while you ride that bike, now didn't you? But this is the journey of life. And I embrace it wholeheartedly. And I'm in a very, very good place. And I've always been, even when I didn't know it. Draw from that. Stay connected to the God force. And make sure that what you do today lasts forevermore. Many of us get involved with the energies of people who don't desire anything better. They want to stay on the level of foraging for news and gossip to spread. And really, you have to say they're doing their job. Maybe that's what they're put here for. We can't always expect to save people. Let's help them go to a higher level. Some people don't want to go to a higher level. But the sad part is those who don't want to go to a higher level don't want you to go there either. So you got to cut them. And if you can't cut them because there's somebody in your family to a point, yeah, you can cut family members too. Yeah. But if it's something of a mild discomfort, you don't see them all the time. It's okay. But on a divine level, what is it that you're creating now that's going to last? When I look at my website and all the work that I've done over the last 23 years, that can't be taken away. The energy put in cannot be taken away. And the God force knows what you have put out there and what you've put down, whatever it may be. Look at the bridge that you cross when you drive or walk across it. Many of the people, depending on the age of that bridge, which most bridges usually were there before we were born, people died on those bigger bridges when they were building it. They fell off or fell into the concrete or fell off into the water. But we don't know that. We don't consider that. But the bottom line is that the energy that they put out long ago helps you to cross from one side of the river, lake, body of water, stream to the other. What is it that you're doing now that's going to help somebody in the future? That's what validates who you are and your efforts, and shows it and lets you know that you have value and worth. But you're not going to have too much value and worth if you're indulging yourself in things that are not positive, not good. Those things add on to the tarnish of your shine. And that's not anything that I want to be bothered with, because the chronological, the time, the measured time, this life is brief. Maybe someone will hear these words long after I'm gone and derive something out of it, that I took time this morning to sit down and share what was put on my heart in a very abstract way, of course. But it's all out of love, and it's all out of enjoying the journey. And I'm going to wrap this down. My body calls for nutrition and caloric enhancement. These bodies that we're in, even though we're beyond these bodies, we are not our bodies, but we have to tend to them every day. And it's a beautiful thing still too. But I'm going to have a peaceful, I'll say somewhat isolated from the outside world type of day. More creations coming. And I'm never, ever going to allow myself to be pulled away from the God force that helped me last night to meet 3 phenomenal individuals who are all on the same page. And I'm really not shocked, because I know these things happen and I know it's coming, but I never give up. And they too were so overjoyed to meet me. And that was the ultimate validation of my existence. But make sure to take care of your health. Put down the better foods. Improve slowly. Doesn't mean you have to do anything overnight and just change everything. Spend time with yourself. Ask yourself when you wake up, what is it that you can do that will last beyond the time of your life, your lifespan? Stay away from these wayward, demonic, narcissistic energies. Their job is to take your shine away and to drain you of the positive life force and your connection by throwing doubt on you, making you second guess the feeling that you have inside. You don't want that. When you live like that, with that mentality of positivity and staying connected, a 24-hour day can almost be like a whole week because you're on track. So with that being said, always go to LANCESCURV.com if you don't see me on social media, because the attacks are real. I won't get into that right now. And always know that whatever good you've done, it always stands. That vibration always stands. And eventually, because it's ordained, you don't have to add anything into it, but eventually the world will see your shine, whether certain individuals like it or not. You get to focus on from within. Whatever it is that you do, we all have a unique set of abilities and talents. I appreciate the talents and abilities of others, as many have appreciated my talents and abilities that are unique to me. And I thank the Creator for giving me those, because I hope to use it to help others elevate. What can you do for the world? Take care of yourself, but don't allow yourself to be used and drained. It's a happy balance. And this morning, I woke up in it. So anyway, much love to you all. LANCESCURV moving on to the next meal, and I'm going to come back and maybe talk a little more. I might go out on my balcony and go live and show you the beautiful sights that I'm seeing. But whatever it is that I do, just know that I love you, and I do this out of love. Take care. Peace.
Make sure to go to LANCESCURV.com, an online magazine established in 2001. Containing written articles, thousands of talk shows and discussions, cutting-edge cartoons, as well as erotic expressions and tasteful adult photography. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. Once you get a taste of the world of LANCESCURV, trust me, you'll be back for more. LANCESCURV.com. Bold, raw, and